Why Satan fought so hard for the body of Moses after his death. Bible Mysteries Explained. Have you ever wondered why Satan so desperately wanted the body of Moses after his death? This question might seem unsettling or even bizarre, yet it's deeply rooted in biblical accounts. Moses, a towering figure in history, led the Israelites from the shackles of Egyptian slavery to the doorstep of the Promised Land. He was the conduit for the Ten Commandments, a beacon of hope and faith. But what transpired after his demise was shocking. According to the Bible, God laid Moses to rest in an undisclosed location. Yet, a peculiar event unfolded. There was a fierce altercation between Archangel Michael and the devil over Moses' remains. This isn't a tale spun from thin air, but a reference from the book of Jude, verse 9. This scenario raises more questions than it answers, so let's delve into the biblical events surrounding Moses' death and this peculiar dispute. Moses, the man who had led the Israelites out of Egypt, who had received the Ten Commandments directly from God, and who had guided his people towards the Promised Land, was now on the verge of death. His life was filled with extraordinary encounters, divine revelations, and powerful miracles. Yet, just before he entered the Promised Land, he made a very serious mistake that almost cost him his ministry. God had specifically asked Moses to speak to the rock so that water would gush out and the children of Israel would drink. But unfortunately, due to the pressure from the Israelites, Moses, out of anger, turned to the people and said, "Must we always bring out water for you to drink?" Although this statement might have sounded innocent, it had very serious consequences. The first mistake Moses made was to use the word we instead of saying God. It was God's power that was to bring out water, and not Moses. By saying we, it meant Moses attributed some level of power to himself. Secondly, Moses struck the rock when God had actually told him to speak to it. Immediately after doing this, God told Moses that he shall no longer enter the Promised Land because of his error. Think about it. Can you imagine all that Moses had gone through just to miss it at the end, after which he died? The book of Deuteronomy 30:5-6 narrates the event of Moses' death. It says, "So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth-peor, but no one knows his grave to this day." This passage tells us that Moses died in the land of Moab, as per God's words, and then in a mysterious and divine act, God himself buried Moses. This is an unusual occurrence in the Bible. God, the creator of the universe, personally involving himself in the burial of a man. It is not often that we hear of God carrying out a burial. This act of divine intervention signifies the special bond that Moses shared with God. Moses was not just a servant of the Lord, he was a friend. And in this friendship, we see a remarkable act of love, respect, and honor, where we find Archangel Michael and Satan locked in a fierce dispute, not here on earth, but in the heavenly realms. This was no ordinary argument. But then, Satan came to claim the body of Moses. His audacious move is met with resistance by none other than Archangel Michael. The Bible doesn't provide us with all the details of this celestial confrontation, but we know that Michael, standing firm in his divine duty, resisted Satan's claim. Michael, an archangel of great power and authority, stood his ground. However, he did not rebuke Satan in his own name or power. Instead, he said, "The Lord rebuke you." Here we see the humility and wisdom of Archangel Michael, who acknowledges that the power to rebuke Satan comes from God alone. There's a chance that Satan wanted to prevent Moses from being resurrected or assumed into heaven. Satan might have wrongly assumed that God planned to take Moses into heaven, just like Elijah or Enoch. In the Gospel of Matthew 17, Moses appeared with Elijah on the Mount of Transfiguration with Jesus. Satan, being the cunning adversary that he is, may have tried to stop this from happening by taking possession of Moses' body. Another major reason Satan wanted the body of Moses was because Satan most likely wanted to use Moses' body as an object of idolatry for the Israelites. Remember the golden calf incident in Exodus 32. Satan, knowing this, may have intended to tempt them to venerate Moses' body or relics. This would have been an effective way to divert them from the true worship of God. God, in his wisdom, may have hidden Moses' body to protect his people from this snare. The third reason is that Satan, who is referred to as the accuser in Revelation 12:10, could have wanted to accuse Moses of his past sins and unworthiness before God. Satan could have used Moses' past failures, such as killing an Egyptian, breaking the tablets of the law, or striking the rock instead of speaking to it, as grounds for condemnation. The devil loves to accuse and condemn, and Moses, despite his great deeds, was not without sins. Lastly, Satan might have wanted to mock God's plan and power by seizing Moses' body. Satan could have attempted to claim a trophy of his victory over God's chosen leader and mediator. The devil, in his pride and rebellion, constantly seeks to challenge God and his plans. But let's remember this: while Satan's cunning nature knows no bounds, neither does God's wisdom. God's power and wisdom are infinitely greater than Satan's schemes. Even when Satan fought hard for Moses' body, it was God who had the final say. God's purposes cannot be thwarted, and his plans cannot be foiled. Satan's cunning knows no bounds, but neither does God's wisdom. God is always one step ahead, and his wisdom and power far exceed anything Satan can muster. Even in the face of Satan's craftiness, God's plans always prevail. So, remember, no matter how crafty and cunning Satan might be, God's wisdom, power, and love for us are infinitely greater. Beyond the dispute, there's a greater lesson. It's a story we've unraveled today, a complex narrative woven into the fabric of our faith. A tale of God's chosen leader, Moses, and the battle that ensued over his lifeless body. But let's step back for a moment. Let's look beyond the battle, beyond the motives of Satan, and find the greater message hidden within this story. First, it's a reminder of the importance of true worship. The Israelites time and again fell into the snare of idolatry. Whether it was the golden calf or the bronze serpent, they were easily swayed away from the worship of the one true God. The potential misuse of Moses' body as an object of veneration underscores the struggle, reminding us to keep our worship focused on God alone. Second, it's a testament that God's grace extends beyond our shortcomings and that his love is stronger than our past failures. Finally, this story serves as a stark reminder of the need to resist Satan's temptations. Satan is crafty, cunning, and will use any means to divert us from God's path. But as Archangel Michael demonstrated with faith and the power of God's word, we can stand against these temptations. One possible continuation of the text could be: as we unravel the mysteries surrounding Satan's desperate fight for the body of Moses, we can explore additional speculations that shed light on this enigmatic event. One possibility is that Satan sought to exploit the Israelites' deep reverence for Moses, using his remains to create a false deity that would lead them astray. By possessing Moses' body, Satan could manipulate the people's emotions and devotion, leading them into idolatry once again. Moreover, it is important to consider the symbolism attached to Moses' life and teachings. Moses acted as a mediator between God and the Israelites, delivering his commandments and guiding the nation. Satan may have wanted to tarnish Moses' legacy by defiling his body, undermining the credibility of his teachings, and sowing doubt among the Israelites. Additionally, Satan's coveting of Moses' body could be rooted in his eternal vendetta against God's chosen people. The Israelites were a constant target of the devil's schemes, and by possessing Moses' body, he could inflict further pain and disruption upon them. Satan aims to steal, kill, and destroy, and the body of Moses could have become a tool to achieve his malevolent goals. It is crucial to recognize that Satan's strategies are multifaceted and often intertwined. While the Bible provides limited details on this celestial confrontation, it is evident that Satan's intentions were not singular. By understanding the depth of his motivations, we can further appreciate the magnitude of God's wisdom and power in thwarting his plans. In this intricate tale of divine providence and spiritual warfare, we witness the unwavering resolve of Archangel Michael, who stands as a testament to the authority and might of God. Although the specific details of the celestial dispute remain a mystery, the outcome serves as a reminder of the ultimate triumph of good over evil. In conclusion, Satan's relentless pursuit of Moses' body reveals his cunning nature and his desire to deceive and manipulate God's chosen people. By exploiting their reverence for Moses, Satan aimed to lead them astray into idolatry. However, God's wisdom and power prevailed, protecting his people from this snare. The celestial confrontation between Archangel Michael and Satan serves as a testament to the ultimate triumph of good over evil.